Come on.
Oh, that's.
Is it?
It's worked. Stephen, I think we might be live.
Are we live?
Please, God, tell us we're live. Please. We're live! We're getting! You fucking, we've had an absolute living nightmare, everybody. You didn't even want to know. You do not want to know. Give us a look on here. We're not live. Are we live? Yes, we are.
We've been live 13 seconds. Bloody Nora. Fucking hell.
I apologise, everybody.
Right, then to summarise, everybody, see you in the next video.
We're done. It's took too long.
Jesus Christ.
Right, and give us a quick look. The connection looks alright. I'm going to have double check because I didn't believe this software, what we're using.
Put the chat on, they'll tell us if we're live or not. Oh, we're live. I'm live.
Are we live? Yes, we are. Right.
Oh, we're live. Right,
everybody.
Hell.
You'll have to mute the cunt.
I've turned it off.
Now you go and you get your thingies up now. Right.
Hell.
Thanks for joining us. We've had an absolute living nightmare. Apologies about it. But we're going to be...
I blame the tech man.
It was all my fault. We're going to be talking about the retained list. Also, a few of the little things we'll touch upon in this video. But we'll just start, we'll have to jump straight into it, Stephen, because we've had a bit of a nightmare.
Oh, just a bit.
Right, we're starting off with released players first. Stephen, if you want to quickly blast through the list, mate.
Well, the list is Ian McGeady, RB Jamajli, Kieron Dunn, Jack McIntyre, Jordan Willis, Kenton Richardson, Lee Burge, Nicky Giamabio, Patrick Almond, Sam Wilden, Stephen Wayne, Tyrese Dice, Ugonna Emenike, Vinny Steels, Will Grigg and Will Harris. That's the full list. If you're like me, some of them you'll never bloody heard of. But that's the case.
I will start off, I will quickly mention a few now. Will Grigg, I'm absolutely devastated he's left.
Wounded.
Absolutely gutted.
I mean, he's been on fire.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
On fire. Nah. Good riddance. See you later.
It was his attitude from the second he come in. He didn't want to be here in the first place. The second he come in, man, he had a stinking attitude. He wouldn't move on the pitch. It was like he was stuck in mud. And then I thought, oh, well, we're not playing to his strengths. Listen, we had a ball. I can't remember what game it was, Stephen, but there was a ball flashed right to him. It was a tap in. It would be harder to miss. His just attitude stunk the full time he was here.
Well, the fact is, he never wanted to come here in the first place, but because we offered £4 million for him, Wigan said, look, mate, you can't.
Aye.
The whole time he was up here, he never lived up here.
Nah.
He used to travel up, train, and travel back home or whatever. I don't even think he trained all the time. And like you say, his attitude was a disgrace. When he was on the pitch, he just wasn't interested.
Nah.
He was earning big money compared to the most money he's ever earned at being in a football club. And he's out, was it a 3-year contract?
Yeah, something daft like
3-year contract he's been here, and he's earned 10 grand a week, and then he's been out playing further down south, closer to his family. Like I say, he might be the League One's highest ever goal scorer for his old previous teams, but for us, he's been a complete waste of space. I cannot wait to see you later, knobhead. In fact, I hope he signs for Rotherham on a fucking permanent deal, so we'll play against him next season. Bailey Wright and Danny Back and sandwich the bastard.
Well, did you see the Sunderland supporters in Wembley in this changing room singing Will Grigg's on fire?
I know.
Oh my God.
What a piss take that is.
I was crying my eyes out when I got that. That was hilarious.
Ridiculous one. Bloody hell.
But listen, it's good riddance to bad rubbish, in my opinion,
definitely.
on that one. Right, I want to touch upon Aidan McGeady.
What do you want to touch McGeady?
I wouldn't mind, He's listen, he's been a canny long servant for Sunderland, and he did say when he signed for us that he didn't want to leave unless Sunderland were promoted. So he's left us. He left on a high note, really, hasn't he?
Well, we've had him 5 years.
We've had him a long time.
That's a long time for Aidan McGeady, because I don't think he spent that long at many other clubs. He came here, and him and his family were settled in the area straight away. Let's be honest, we took him as a hero straight away because with his ability, the way he plays. I mean, he had a good track record before he came to us, which is why I wanted him. I mean, we used to get linked to him every summer anyway. And then he eventually came, and look, you cannot doubt his effort. He tried and tried and tried. He's been part of the ups that we had in League One and things like that, and he's kept on going, and unfortunately, yes, this has been his last season with us. He got a bad injury in November. He managed to get himself fit again, but he couldn't get back in the team. The way Alex Neil had the squad playing, there was other names ahead of him to come on the pitch who didn't need to get match fitness up by playing a few weeks. We had people ready to go, and like I say, what happens worked. I'm sorry to see him leave. I understand why he's going. We cannot be offering him another contract there.
That's his age.
His age and because of his age and that he's picking up a lot more injuries. From what I've heard, he's likely to go to Hibs to join Lee Johnson.
I
if that's the case, I wish Aidan McGeady all the best.
Definitely.
Thank you for everything you've done for us. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of nearly all Sunderland supporters. Get up there and smash that tin pot league all hour like you did the League One.
I think he will, though. Honestly, quickly just going back to him, I really do think he'll do a job for Lee Johnson there. Do you know what done my head in Parkinson when he ostracised him out the team? That's what killed it for me. Like, the Sunderland supporters, well, the ones I've spoken to anyway, the all says that we need McGeady back in the team now. When Parky done that, and when Lee Johnson brought him back in, he hit the ground running. Look, all this he got for Charlie Whiteman.
I think it was one of them clash of personalities. Parkinson wanted to be. It's my ball. I'm playing with it. It's my ball. And I think he just classed it. He didn't like the fact that Ian McGeady was pretty much the biggest personality in the dressing room and the best player, and then stupidly loaned him out to our rivals. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous.
He was a titty.
But like I say, he came back and he hit the ground running, and we never looked back, did we?
Nah. Well, Lee Burge, we'll quickly go and talk about Lee Burge. You know what? Lee Burge always had a mistake in him for me, so I'm glad he's on that list. I'm glad he's there. If he was going to make the mistakes in League One, imagine the mistakes he's going to be making in the Championship. I'd say, in my opinion, he was probably better than Hoffman, but he wasn't as good as what Patterson's been up till Alex Neal come in. As soon as Alex Neal's come in, Patterson's went levels again. So for me, I'm glad Hoffman's gone. We're going to obviously be in the market now looking for, I'm glad he's gone, Lee Burge. So we're going to be in the market for another goalkeeper as a number 2 maybe, or would you say a number 1?
It'll be a number 2, I'd imagine, the way Patterson's finished the season. I read something this morning saying that, I mean, we'll get on to the loanies in a bit, but I read somewhere this morning that they reckon that Sunderland are likely to put a bid in for Hoffman to sign him on a permanent deal, but we'll have to wait and see on more information on that.
I'll be surprised.
But just going on Lee Burge, I mean, I don't quite agree with what Paul's saying there. Yes, there was always a mistake in him, but there's a mistake in every goalkeeper in my eyes. I thought he was quite consistent.
Consistently shit.
No way, I thought he was quite consistent. I thought he played well, especially if you look at that our League Cup run and all that he had. Like I said, I didn't think he was too bad, to be fair. Like I really didn't, and then I quite liked him. But one thing I will say, this season he would have played a lot more times this season if it wasn't for his health condition. Wish him all the best with his health condition. Obviously, we'll hope he's back playing again soon. Thank you for what you have done for us, and
definitely, mate. Definitely.
And we'll see you later.
Well, then we'll move on to another one.
Everyone's favourite name to pronounce, Arbinit Jamajli, as we call him, Arby.
Yeah, Arby. Do you know what? I was gutted about him because when he come to Sunderland, he signed for us. He's meant to be a really good player, talented player, but we just didn't get to see it, did we?
I remember when he came. I mean, anyone had heard of him. Obviously, he's from Kosovo. And then, but he was like, I heard great things like after you sign and then you look into it and all that, and then we get saying, he's class, he's a unit. And then unfortunately he got injured pre-season or right at the very start of the season, and it was a bad injury. So we were waiting like a year and a half to see him. But then we did see him. It was like, bloody hell, who's this guy? Thank God he's back. But then he got injured again, and then he got injured again. So although, and I think Paul agrees with us here, although yes, we've seen some good things from him, it's nowhere near enough to warrant giving him another contract. He's been injured. We've had him for 2 years. He's been injured for 1 3/4 years of that. So I understand, we're kind of be offering him a new contract because let's say we sign another one and then he gets injured in pre-season for another year. It's a waste of money, waste of resources, and it's a space that we could get filled up with someone who is actually going to make an impact. Well,
me and Stephen were talking about this next player, and we had a bit of a disagreement before this, and it was Jordan Willis.
Yeah.
For me, listen, do you know what? When he was fully fit, this is what we did agree on. When he was fully fit, he was a good player. He was very pacey, and that's what we've lacked over years.
He's our best defender by a man.
With centre backs, we've lacked pace, but these injuries, reoccurring injuries and all, I didn't think it warranted a new contract, me personally. I'm glad Sunderland gave him that extra year to try and get back up to fitness, but he just couldn't get to the standards what Alex Neal wanted, really, or even Lee Johnson for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so much like it was the same injury that kept him out all this time. Obviously, he was in the process of recovery, and then obviously it started hurting again. That's not. But for me, like I said, when we had him, he was our best defender. Before he got injured, obviously, I loved him. He was, like I say, he was fast. He was confident on the ball. He was good at going forward. He was good at covering people. I mean, I would like to see what he is like after his injury. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky one because he's been injured for that long. Do you take the risk in case he's not the same player he was, or do you take the risk and see if he is? Sunderland's chose not to take the risk and we've let him go. Me personally, I reckon I would have given him another year to see how he pans out. But you got to respect the decision, and thank you, Jordan, for the time you did spend with us. And I hope you do get back to the way you were. I don't want an injury to stop your career as a real, because for me you were brilliant and you had a lot of potential.
It can be done, because just look at Duncan Watmore. Two bad knee injuries, you know what I mean? He's flying in the championship.
I'm beginning to think that's something to do with Sunderland. That
more than likely.
I don't think he's been injured once at Middlesbrough.
Right, Stephen, I want to touch upon the a few youth players, because I've seen a few of the youth players. I'd start with Almond. For me, I was kind of gutted that he didn't get offered a contract. He's big, he's very powerful, and he's so young. I thought he showed a potential. You kind of expect every single player to hit the ground running like, say, Callum Doyle has. Some may need more time than others, and I thought that Doyle, obviously he's hit the ground running, he got tossed in there, he had plenty of game time, you know what I mean? But Armand didn't get that much game time. Yes, in the Patterson Trophy he did, and that's the same with Stephen Werner and Dice for me. I was gutted about them three. Dice, very direct, pacey is out, and he scored against the under-23s. And Vern, when he came on against the under-23s, I thought he was probably one of our better players, and he also scored as well. Same with Dice. So I was really gutted about them three. And Stephen, you wanted to mention Will Harris. Will Harris,
he's a local lad as well. I used to work with his best mate, but he was banging the goals in for fun on the under-23s. And then when he played on for us, he looked lively, he was fast. He was still very young, obviously, but he looked lively, he looked fast, and he looked capable. And I believe he even scored wasn't one of his senior games this season. I mean, it might be the Papa John's Trophy, you know what I mean? But he still scored. And then we loaned him out for the rest of the season. And I thought that was right. We're going to loan him out, get him some experience, and bring him back and work with him a bit more. But we haven't. We've loaned him out, brought him back, and then just released him. So, I mean, obviously they see him more than what we do. But from what I did see of him, I quite liked him. I mean, he was confident getting goals, confident getting forward, and he was a very fast player. But it's not to be, you know what I mean?
Quickly and all, we'll touch upon the players who went back to their parent clubs. Do we think they deserve contracts, or
Well, it's not our place to say.
It's not our place,
because they're not our players.
It's our YouTube channel, so we'll see what the fuck we're like. You know? But no, we'll start with Callum Doyle. Callum Doyle come in, hit the ground running. Listen, he came to League One, he came to Sunderland to get his experience and to develop as a player. I thought Lee Johnson overused him and burnt him out near the end of Lee Johnson's career at Sunderland. He did overuse the lad, and you could tell he needed a rest. Same with Dan Neal and all, he needed a rest. And when Alex come in, he dropped the pair of them and gave them a rest. After a couple of games, he realised he's sell. For me, he's going to be an absolute star when he's older. He's an absolute unit to start with. Right. He likes to play on the ball, bring the ball out of defence. But Sam, what's your thoughts on Doyle? Do you think
pretty much same as you? I mean, he's 18-year-old. He was 17 at the start of the season. He turned 18 during the season, and he was a unit. First start of the season, he was one of our best players on the pitch. Yes, I think it's understandable. I think it was right. He did get a bit tired because he was playing every minute of every game.
He was.
But he wasn't fazed by it. He was coming across some big strikers, some big well-known strikers in League One, you know what I mean? And he was handling them all well, and like I say, he was getting forward. The way he carries the ball with confidence was brilliant. And he was really well. And then he got given his break, his little rest. And then when he came out, he kind of struggled to get back in the starting lineup. But whenever he has come on off the bench, he's been playing really well. He's been doing his job. And like I say, I think it's clear to see he's got a big future ahead of him. I'd like to see maybe we'll try and get him again next season, but we don't know. I mean, what's helped us with winning the Championship, so now Man City have said, right, he can handle it in League One, can he handle it in the Championship? So you never know. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
I think Man City will be happily let him gone out and on again, 100%.
Oh yeah. Well, he's not going to start. He's not going to be getting the game in their starting 11 anytime soon, is he? You know what I mean?
I just wonder if he could now. Like he says, he's tried that. Can he now gone up a level?
Yeah.
Time will tell. But for me, I did hear somewhere, comment below and let us know if I'm talking at my arse, like, but I read somewhere that Speakman is giving control to Alex Neil regarding incomings and outgoings. I'm not 100% sure, but if that's the case, Alex Neil likes to tend to go for experience rather than youth. So would that scupper his chances of coming back?
Not necessarily, because if you look at that, I mean, Alex Neil likes playing Clark, Roberts.
Aye.
He likes having a mixture of experience and youth.
He does.
We don't know. Like I said, Doyle never really started many games under Alex Neil.
No.
So you don't know what he's saying or what his opinions are. It's an option to try and bring him back next season, but Alex Neil might have his eyes on different centre-halves. Obviously, more will pan out after January 1st, because January, what am I on about?
The summer.
The summer. After the 1st of July, when the transfer window opens again.
Right, just before, like, let everybody know, we will be jumping into the chat after this, and we'll have a little 5-10 minutes talk with what people's been seeing, and we'll go on further back as well. So we'll just have a bit of patience on that one. Right, Clark.
Jack Clark,
the enigma, I call him.
Do you want to start with Jack Clark? Because you've been his number one fan the whole loan spell.
Well, Stephen, here we're gone. Jack Clark, for me, frustrated the absolute living shit out of us from the second he come in. Give him the first couple of games to adjust and that, but he would not, and I think every Sunderland supporter noticed, even you, Stephen, he would not put a ball in the box. He kept checking and checking and checking, and that time when he checked and put one in the top corner, that was it. He was never checking again. He kept replicate. But I've got to held my hands up. The last, say about 4 or 5 games, he started to come on. And obviously, Alex Neil's instructions were getting a bit more clear to him. I'm going to just put it as that. And he was outstanding in the second leg against Sheffield Wednesday. And at Wembley, when we seen the lineup, we were surprised he even got dropped.
Yeah.
And that's how much the Alex Neil effect has been working, really, for me.
Definitely.
I don't know, like, would you give him another contract? The reason I'm going to say probably surprisingly to you, is simply because of the way when he started to change his game style and he was getting balls into the box, we were creating chances and goals from that. So for me, Stephen, I think I would.
But we know what he's capable of. We have seen that.
We have.
You know what I mean? Especially like you see over the last 4, 5, 6 games, he was doing a lot. He was doing what we wanted a lot more.
Aye.
But like you say, it's not a case of us offering him a contract. I have read and saying that we are likely to get back in touch with Tottenham about either signing or another loan deal. It'll be interesting to see where that pans out, because I think the Championship, it's a different style of football. It really is. The League One, it's more shit referees and people kicking you all over the place and not getting out for it. But Championship, the football level is it's more technical.
Aye.
And I think with players like your likes of Clarkson and your Roberts, I think they can be more effective in the Championship because the defenders are a lot different. The way you approach games is a bit different, so I think it could work. But like I say, I've read today that apparently we're going to be speaking to Tottenham about Clark. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Me personally, would I have him back? Yes, I would.
Right, moving on, Stephen. Broadhead, I didn't think we should sign him. I think he was a load of shit. He was the worst player ever. Nah, obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic on that one. No, Broadhead. Do you know what? It's a funny one because a few supporters I've seen, I've said that they wouldn't because of his injuries.
Yes, I'm glancing across to the chat. There's a few people going on about that, but I'm the same. Broadhead, didn't get wrong, or Broadband, whatever you want to call him. He's been class when he's played, especially this season. I mean, I think his goal to game ratio that he's played is phenomenal, and he's fast, his work rate and things like that. But you've got to take into consideration he's had 2 big injuries this season. I mean, he's still done really well, but do we want a player that misses off the season through injuries but does all right the time he does play, or do we want someone who's like Ross Stewart, for example, never injured? Touch wood, I don't know. Oh, you know what I mean? But Jesus. You know what I mean? He's never been injured all season.
How he hasn't.
And the work rate he puts in is phenomenal. So, you know what I mean? And he's managed to get away with it. Some players are just, unlucky with injuries. I'd like to, saying that, I'd like to see Broadhead back. I would. I think, if we keep him injury free, I think him and Stewart could be phenomenal again next season. But that's not to say I don't want to bring in another striker. But, me, I'd like us to bring Broadhead back. Whether it's on a permanent deal or another loan, we'll have to soon see. I think Everton staying in the Premier League has been a massive help with that, because if Everton came down, we would have had no chance, because they'd have lost all their big players and Broadhead would have been starting for Everton. Like I say, I mean, we're on here doing the live, talking about the retain list and all that, but obviously there's certain things we don't know the answers to, like no one does. But it'd be interesting to see. But me personally, would I have Broadband back? Yes. Right.
So I would as well. I didn't even see if I would. But the reason why I would and all is because when he came on at Wembley, it looked like he was playing with a knocking anyway, because there was a few times where you would expect him to get to the ball and he just as if he was held enough a little bit. He weren't giving his... So obviously he was carrying a knock because he got injured after that, so he's had to pull out the Wales squad. So, but for me, I would definitely sign him because when he's playing up there with Stewart, he's levels above League One, and like Stephen's just been saying there, with Everton securing place in the Premier League, I think we could get him back on loan as well.
Yeah.
Right, moving on to Hoffman, Stephen.
Ron Thorben Hoffman. I mean, we touched on him briefly. Shot stopping wise, hell of a keeper. Distribution wise, not so good. Which is quite surprising. Bear in mind, he was the understudy for Neuer. You know what I mean? Who's right? He could be an outfield player, Neuer.
Right. Well, he's young, really.
He's young. He's still very young, very tall. I quite liked him, to be fair. I mean, his distribution could have been a bit better at times, but like I say, he's still learning. It's like Patterson. Patterson's been phenomenal for us, but sometimes his distribution's a bit. You know what? He's gone back because we had a stipulation in the loan deal where I think it's if he played 25 games, we would have signed him. He played 23, so therefore we haven't automatically signed him like what we'll have with Jacko, but we'll touch on that later. So Hoffman's gone back. Like I said earlier, I've read that we are likely to put an offer in for Hoffman. Like I said, time will tell on that, but I have seen that today online. So we'll wait and see. Me personally, I'm 50-50 with Hoff. I'm not bothered either way. If he comes, right, me bother, I'll support him. If he doesn't, I believe we'll go out and get another keeper.
I'm a bit of the same with you, Stephen. Yeah. I'm not really bothered if he does or if he doesn't, but the reason why I wouldn't is because I want a more experienced goalkeeper in the Championship to push Patterson and maybe even pass off some knowledge to Patterson as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But for me, it's not worth the risk of having Hoffman in the Championship when he's not he's not that experienced really. I think we need an experienced goalkeeper in. So for me, I didn't care. But that moves on to the other German. I'll let you start with this one.
No, but we'll jump onto the chat now before we go on to the retained list. Because
go on then.
Jacko's kind of is classed as the retained list because we had him on loan, and because he's met the stipulations of us getting promoted, he's now ours.
I wonder what the fee is. That's all I'm honest here.
I didn't know. I'm going to make that chat bigger.
Do you want us to make this bit? I'm going to drop into the chat, everybody. So if you want to leave a comment,
I think there's been loads.
Stephen will read it because I cannot see at all.
Because he refuses to put his bifocals on.
Because I've got binoculars. They're that big. When this decides to load.
Because he's paranoid. He reckons people think he looks like a nerd.
I am a nerd.
You know that emoji with the glasses on. That's how.
Right, shut up now. You've gone on too much. Do you want to scan back?
I just have a quick bloody go.
Right.
He's humping.
That's as far as I can go. That's as far as I can
go. Right. Loving the Championship thing in the background. That's nice, I don't know. I don't know why we're looking. Well, wait.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
I can't wait to see some different actual interesting stadiums behind us next season as well.
Okay.
Hello, yeah, you okay, lads? Yeah, we're spot on. Of course we are. As you can tell, my voice is still goosed off the weekend. Hopefully it'll come back to normal by the start of next season. Benoe, all right, lads? Yes, hello, mate.
All right, Benoe, mate.
What a signing Will Grigg has been, just like we said. I mean, we loved him.
Devastated.
Absolutely loved him.
I'm heartbroken, mate. Absolutely heartbroken. Put him up there with McGeady.
There's not much to do. Would you call McGeady a cult hero or a cult legend? A club legend?
Neither for me, like.
No, I wouldn't. I'd say it'd be someone who will always remember and appreciate for what he'd done while we're in the worst part of our history.
Exactly. That's the key there.
But I reckon if he'd been an instrumental part in getting us up, then yes, but because he was injured since November, he wasn't really part of the team. He'll have been part of the squad, obviously on the training ground and been motivational in helping the young'uns on. But it's like...
Read this one, mate, after plays if you can. Jack Dodds. All right, Jack, mate.
SFC uploaded a video of all of his goals since he joined and he really demonstrates the quality he was. There's a mix of typical screamers, but equally a lot of smart finishes where he kept it. Yeah, I watched it. I watched the McGeady one. I mean, some of the goals were tremendous and some of them are just simple, but... I mean, there was also a few penalties in there as well.
Do you know what? It killed with McGeady. It kills me because when Patterson got rid of him, we all knew what his ability was. He could make a yard of space and then deliver the ball on top of anyone's head.
Well, not even that. I always mentioned that
skill was mint.
The Pizza Cup final last season.
The
Pizza Cup final. That assist, that through ball. De Bruyne watches that in the changing rooms before he goes out the pitch at the Etihad. That's where he gets his inspiration from, I'm telling you.
McGeady, do you want us to roll it down a bit more?
I roll it down a bit. Wanted Willis to stay? Yeah, I'd like the Willis. He's not that. He says no, but for me, I would have. Burge was a canny cup keeper. Yeah, that was the only time he played well.
I agree with that. Burge was a cup keeper.
Yeah, Stephen Wayne. We don't know why we've gotten rid of him. Or Dice, he was doing well. He looked good in the under what you call it. Doyle, yeah, we've spoken about Doyle. Broadhead injured twice because he was willing to play early after his injury. Get him signed. Yeah, but like I said, we'd like to see him back, but it is a worry about his injuries. And it's not just his decision to come back. Oh yeah, I'm right. There's real players in the managers and the coaching staff have got to keep an eye on things like that. Definitely keep Broadband and Clark. Broadband, fucking stop writing that. Broadhead and Clark.
Stephen,
I know.
Read the name and all, so they're not. Read that one. He's mad him.
Brett Gibbs.
He's mad.
Pretty sure transfer window opens June 10th.
June the 10th.
I'll tell you what, mate. You could be right. I'm just going off. Like in normal seasons, I know this one's starting a bit earlier and all that because obviously it would make more sense for it to open earlier because the season's starting earlier. I'm just going off traditionally of it. To be honest with you, I'm going off my championship manager days because the transfer window was opened on the 1st of July because most football contracts go from the July until, you know what I mean. So you might be right, but so maybe we won't have to wait that long before we find any. You were Jamie.
You're right, Jerry lad. My brother's dropped in.
But so if it's the 10th of June, we've only got a few weeks to wait before we can hopefully start seeing signings coming through the door or getting a look at what kind of vision Neil's going for and how him and Speakman's going to work together.
Exactly. Stephen, if you want to jump.
There's someone mentioned there. Wait, no, sorry, mate.
No, brother.
Someone's mentioned there the Dapo from Rotherham. Rotherham have released him. He was one of their best strikers last season.
We were linked to him.
And thingy, and people saying he's not a team player, wants to be the number one man. Don't take. This is a Rotherham fan saying, don't take him.
Right.
So I'll be honest with you. We'll listen to you more than anything because
you've seen it.
You've seen it. All we see is Neil. All we see on the highlights on Quest is Ladapo scoring. When we're checking on teletext for all you old bastards out there, Ladapo and scoring goals. So we see scoring goals, but obviously we don't see behind the scenes. Exactly. We don't see the bits that aren't the highlights. I'm guessing what you're seeing, he might be a lazy player or he's all out for himself, which is not the kind of player you want in your team.
No, definitely not.
Thank you for that. And also thank you for watching us.
And subscribe if you haven't.
Exactly, aye.
Read that last one, mate.
I'll
see it. A camera, Keisha Jude.
That's what it is.
Acacia Cameron Jude. I said it wrong. I haven't got my gigs on. I can't see from that far. What did you see at the bottom?
What do you think of the news about Broadhead? Well, there is no news yet. We know he's gone back to Everton for now, but we're in talks to sign him or get him back on loan.
We're happy about it. That we're both wanting to come back.
Oh yeah.
Right, definitely. Stephen. That's enough of the chat for a couple of seconds, and we'll quickly get back on about
the retained list.
The retained list.
We'll start with who we mentioned before.
Aye.
Leon Jacko. Had him on loan. Got him on loan the same time as we got the Hoff. He had stipulations in his contract, whereas if we got promoted, we sign him. We've got promoted, we've signed him on a 2-year deal. Like Paul said before, we're not actually 100% sure what the fee is. In fact, we're not 9% sure. We're not even 1% sure because
I'd like to know as well.
I don't think it'll be that much. It'll be all right. It'll be in the hundreds of thousands.
I hope so.
Things like
we got him from
Union Berlin. Sorry for coughing.
He wasn't even in the starting lineup, was he? Though with Union. I think they loaned him out as well.
I think he was a Bayern Munich player.
Then they went to
Then he got loaned out to Union Berlin, then signed from they give him to Union Berlin, then we got him on loan and now he's our player.
What was the point of him going to Union Berlin for literally a couple of games or something then? I'm sure he scored.
I didn't know the way it worked.
Sure he scored. Listen, what's your opinions on him then?
You know what it is? I like him. I mean, he's a bit raw and he's a bit... You've got to remember he's only 21.
Right.
You know what I mean? So 21, 22 at a push. He's very raw, but he's fast. He likes taking players on, and he knows where the back of the net is. He gets in the right areas, and also something that he always shouted at Clark for. He does put crosses in, so he likes to attack down that wing, which is what a winger should do, and then he likes to put the crosses in. I think he's still got a bit to learn, but I like him, and I'm glad that we have signed him on the deal. Whether we would have if we didn't get promoted, I do not know, but I'm happy we have, and I'm looking forward to see how he progresses, because like I say, he's a young lad, he's got loads of raw talent, he's skillful, he's fast. I'm looking forward to it. I quite like him.
Well, for me, Stephen, the key was Alex Neil coming in under Lee Johnson. If Lee Johnson stopped in, see if we didn't go up, I probably wouldn't have been bothered about him gone. But the fact we've went up and Jacko can now work with Alex Neil.
Yeah.
I think Alex Neil can develop him much better as a player. And listen, he got 5 goals. I think, correct us if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm sure he's got 5 goals. And he did look good. I agree with you. Like he runs at the defence. So for me,
and then tries to put a cross in at the end of it.
He does. I would keep Jacko. I would keep Jacko.
Well, that's good, that, because we are.
Well, obviously we're fucking right. You know what I mean?
Just said you know what I mean?
Well, I'm happy that he's still. Right, I'm going to get on to somebody else.
We're going to miss some of the names because some of them are the youngins, and I'll be honest with you.
He doesn't know.
Right, I don't know. Neither did you.
I do.
All right, you tell me about Cameron Jessup.
I don't know him.
Shut your fucking mouth.
No, right. The ones I do know.
Right, doesn't matter about that.
I do know.
We'll start from the top. We'll get on. Alex Pritchard. Obviously, he's staying with us for another season. Happy days.
Oh.
Obviously, there will be people sniffing around him in the summer, I reckon.
Oh,
other championship clubs will be sniffing around him because he's proved what he's capable of. Right. Obviously, he did an interview in there online or whatever it was, and he said before Lee Johnson brought him to Sunderland, he'd fell out of love of football. He'd lost the enjoyment of the game, and he wasn't that bothered anymore. And he says since he's come back, he's been playing week in, week out for Sunderland. He's found his passion for the game again. He's loving again, and you can see on the pitch, he's hungry for everything. I mean, look at the. If you're like me and you've still got the full match recorded of the weekend, just put it on, go to the kick-off and watch the first 5 seconds. Watch how fast Pritchard's chasing the ball down, and this is in the first 5 seconds of the game. He's hungry for it now. He's got the passion. He's always looking to create or score. And me personally, I can't wait to see him progress even more under Alex Neal and take us into the championship next season.
You know, you do everything. I can't disagree with anything you've said there. No. The style what he was playing against Wembley, he was drifting. He was like him and Embleton were drifting, and then 09 and Evans was sitting back, and we just didn't allow Wickham play. Really, we didn't let them settle into the game or play in the early stages of that game. And
he's got 12 assists this season.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, he even made half of the Sunderland supporters at Wembley celebrate for 15 seconds at Wembley for a free kick that he missed. That's how much they loved him. You know what I mean?
He's unreal.
But he was just class, and he's been brilliant all season. Over the moon. I can't wait to see him again next season.
Right, Stephen Wells.
Do you want to go to the next one? Anthony Patterson's the next one.
Aye, Patterson. We can't really question him, really. For me, he was in and out the team with Hoffman and Burge when Burge picked up injury.
Well, he was still a young kid.
He was.
He was in the youths.
We loaned him out. We loaned him out to Notts County, wanted.
He got loaned out twice this season to Notts County.
Notts County were gutted that he went. I seen a footage of him saving a penalty. And they were devastated that he came back to Sunderland because I think Burge got injured, so we needed him back.
One of them had COVID and one of them was injured, so we got him back. He played 2 games, then we sent him back to Notts County.
Aye.
And then Burge had his health scare, I think it was, and then we got Patterson back, and then he's been our number 1 ever since.
He's just come on leaps and bounds.
He's made it his own.
He's come on leaps and bounds. Even since Alex Neal's come in, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless, he's going to be our number 1 going at the championship.
I think so, yeah.
And even if we do get an experienced keeper, you've got to get him out of that spot first for me.
Oh, definitely.
So
it's worth a mention as well. There's a local lad who's in the training team called David Price. And he's the goalkeeping coach. He was working with the youngins, and then he got promoted up to the goalkeeping coach, so he's been working closely alongside Patterson. And it's since that's happened, that's when Patterson's been coming on leaps and bounds. Because if you remember in our earlier videos, we were seeing like when he was first getting the number 1 spot, we were seeing he's not commanding his box, he's not coming out clearing crosses.
He wasn't, was he?
And then he started working with David Priest, and he's coming off his line, he's gathering crosses out, he's punching them clear, he's coming out. Right. I mean, that save he did at Wembley, that was a game-changing save. That if that went in, it would have changed the game completely.
But he saved it with his legs.
Oh, he spread himself. He spread himself like a Pennywell lass on a Friday night after 2020. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm only talking. And stopped that ball, and Nott was getting past him, and it was phenomenal.
That's the thing, though. Bailey Wright did make a mistake, and he was there to stop that mistake. So for me, he's number 1. Right, moving on, Stephen.
Hold on.
Who are we talking about next?
Next can be Winnie Esther.
Aye, good point.
Winnie Esther spent all season playing out of position, and I don't know what other people's views are, but I've spoke about this with a few people. For me, he's up there for player of the season in my eyes. He's been so consistent. He's never made hardly any mistakes. He's scored goals. He's been playing right back out of position. He's been bombing forward, helping us create, helping us score, and he's been Mr. Reliable. He's been playing, like I say, playing right back. He's a centre midfielder and he's been playing right back. And for me, he's had a brilliant season. And I was just gutted for him that he got injured at the end of the season, so he couldn't play any further part.
Do you know what? He has been outstanding for us, but he has went through spells as well, though, Stephen, where he's let the winger go and they've scored from it. I remember a few times, I can't remember what game. Comment below if you know the game, but he's playing out of position. That's why you've got to give him credit. His position is like a defensive midfielder. So
But no, he's just a centre midfielder, like either or. Like Corey Evans, a defensive midfielder, Pritchard's an attacking midfielder. No, he's just a centre midfielder.
Centre midfielder, play either or. Like box to box.
Box to box, basically.
Right. Well, do you know what? Do you keep him there though? Because he's like it was a similar case with Luke O'Nien. Luke O'Nien played mint at was it left back or right back? Then he went to centre half and he was doing class jobs in the defence. So with Corey Evans and Luke O'Nien putting the marker down for that, and Winchester playing so well at right back, what do you do? It's a conundrum, isn't it?
Well, but it is a conundrum. He's got a lot to think about. He's got a lot to work on over the summer, like Alex Neal, and you've got to bear in mind there's going to be new players coming in as well. But for me,
we definitely need a full.
Two players we're going to mention later on, but we've got next. Hopefully, at the start of next season, we're going to have Niall Huggins and Troy Hume battling out for that right back spot. So Winnie Esther should be able to go back to his normal position.
In the midfield. Well, quickly touching upon this and all, Stephen, a place as well we really do lack is left back. We've only got Serkin, who's a recognised left back.
Yeah.
So we will. I know Huggins can play left back, but he's predominantly a right back. So we will 100% for me need a left back in, and also we need a striker. I don't think there's any question about that, really.
No,
here.
Definitely not.
Because
definitely need another striker.
If out happens to Stewart, God forbid, we need somebody in there who can do a good job in the Championship as well. Where else would you say would need? We've got plenty of midfielders.
Centre halves, because we've only got Bart and Wright.
Aye.
So we need to get covering for them.
We've only got them to right?
Centre midfielders, we've got an abundance of centre midfielders.
Plenty of them.
I was going to say and wingers as well, but it all depends whether Robertson's going to sign the new deal or not. He's a winger, obviously. Jacko, winger. I'm trying to think who else we've got who's actual wingers.
Wingers, we've got Roberts.
If he signs.
Gooch. Oh, Gooch. We haven't even spoken about Gooch. What we're doing?
Because we haven't got him on the list yet.
We haven't got him on the
list yet.
Stop everything. We're talking about Gooch.
Yes.
Right, for me, I'm just going to put it out there straight away. We'll 100% need to sign him.
Yeah.
This Wembley carry on. It just. I know he was coming up wanting a new contract, and a lot of some of Sunderland supporters on Twitter were saying, like, is he only playing like this because he needs a new contract? And you might have to, you think about that. Could he be just putting his performance in again? Your contract? Nah, not for me.
No.
Listen, since Alex Neil's come in, you'll notice since Alex Neil's come in now, the whinging has stopped. The whinging has stopped. Can I remember when he used to be like this with the ref all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whinging. And I'd say, he's going to get a yellow card. And 9 times out of 10, he would get a yellow card for dissent. But now that's stopped. And he's just focused on his football on the pitch. He's been outstanding. He's versatile as well. He can play right wing back, and obviously he can play as right wing. Or he's played on the left at times as well, hasn't he? So for me, Gooch, 100%.
We keep him.
We'll keep him. Stephen?
No, go on. Yeah, no, 100% keep him.
He's been here since he was 10-year-old. That's longer than he's been in America.
If you listen
to he's English.
You'll have seen his adverts. You'll have seen his interviews, and his accent is bizarre. Because we know he's an American, so you expect an American accent, but he's got like a Mackem twang. He's got a Mackem twang, but also he sounds Irish.
That's what I noticed.
It's weird, but that's what he's got. Just want to quickly say thank you to Kyle Don. He's made a little donation there. That'll go straight into the channel, so thank you very much.
What he says on it?
Pato reminds me of a young Pickford. Yeah. Except he's got longer arms.
Good shout that. Aye, Patterson's get there. No, good shout that. Good shout. Cheers for the donation, mate. Nice one. Aye, what you were saying about Gooch, yeah?
Gooch, like I say, he's proved himself. Me and him both give him stick, and I know there's thousands a year in the stadium who give him stick, and there's probably people who watching in the beginning.
At the beginning, aye.
Because he's up and down. Like you'd have one mint game, and then he'd be shite for 5. But since Neil's come in, he's been class.
Oh, yeah.
He's been a different player. Like some of the other ones have been as well. I mean, I think a couple of times he got back to back man of the matches. He's been popping up with goals, popping up with assists, and his attitude is what you want. His work rate's class. He's fast. He's fit, and like say under Neil, he's been some of the crosses he's been putting in some of his tackles. I remember earlier on in the season, I'm sure it was the start of this season. He was playing in defence, I think, and where he had the ball and he was trying to shield the ball and he threw himself out the ground on purpose. It was never a free kick in a million years, and we didn't get one for the right reasons. They then went on and scored because of Gooch throwing himself like a little sissy on the floor. We don't see that from him anymore now. Now he's strong as an ox. He's playing the right way and he's playing an effective way, and that's why for me, we sign him and we keep him.
We haven't spoken about Bailey Wright.
We have.
We have.
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
No, we haven't done the people. We haven't done Gooch, Wright, and Roberts yet because we're going to get to them last.
There you go. So we're
going to get to them last.
This is last. So we're moving on to Wright.
We're bouncing all over the golf here.
And another player who's come on leaps and bounds since Alex Nairn's come in.
I mean, when we got him, he was a good player. When we got him, he was class. When we first signed him, he was sent off. He was solid as a rock. And then he got injured, and he came back, and he was a bit off the ball.
He was like in and out, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he came back, and he was brilliant again. And then I think he got a little bit of injury again. But then under Alex Neal, yet again, Alex Neal effect. He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, linking up with your favourite player, Bart.
Danny Bart. Bloody hell. Cack. What a name. Cack Stotty.
He's he runs Rock Report.
All right, cheers. Cheers, mate. Oh, cut the pants on me, lads. Cheers for all the crack this season. Two of the most genuine lads on YouTube. Oh, cheers, mate. Really means a lot. Really appreciate that.
Did you read all of his thingy?
No, cheers,
Gav, mate.
Cheers for the crack this season. Two of the most genuine lads on YouTube. All the best.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'm a fast reader, you know.
I
didn't need me gex.
I kind of fucking see, can I? But cheers, mate. Yeah, it's class coming from someone like him, you know. Right, like we're saying, Bailey Wright.
What a name.
He linked up with
Danny Bart.
I was waiting for you to say it there. That was your key. He's linked up with Bart and they've been an absolute brick wall, the two of them. It just stands to epitomise like the way. He's got new.
You put us off now. He's got new word of the day, toilet roll. That's why he keeps on. Every time we do a video, it comes up with a new long word. Epitomise.
Right. I'm actually quite knowledgeable. I'm just too much of the East End in us. So right, I'll start again. He's linked up class with Bart, and for me, their partnership. It's all to do with Alex Neil for me.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. Listen, when was it when he played him in a 3? He did, didn't he? Played him in a 3.
When he played, it was Wright, Bart, and Certain.
Flanagan wanted. No, I'm talking.
Before.
Before.
Yeah, it was Flanagan. No, it was before Bart. It was Wright, Flanagan, and Doyle.
It was. I tell a lie. And he done outstanding in a 3.
Yeah.
And then he went back to the wing back system, and you know the way they were both playing, now could get past the two of them, could they?
No, definitely not.
But so I was talking about it in January. There was meant to be an offer on the table for Bailey Wright to leave, and we were trying to get. This was just rumours, speculation, trying to get rid of him in January, but it was Australian managers owner.
Who?
An Australian owner of a club was saying that they wanted to try and come in for him, and anyway, he didn't. He stayed at Sunderland, and I think he still wants to stay. We've offered him a contract, and for me, he's been class. Look at when he had the claret all over his face.
It was like Terry Butcher for England all over again. Yeah, he got up, finished the game. I mean, even the fact that last week he had a stomach bug, so he wasn't training with the squad, and he flew down by himself by helicopter. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like I wouldn't want to fly all the way from Sunderland to freaking London in a helicopter.
I wouldn't even get in a helicopter. Never mind flying.
I've been in shitloads of helicopters before, but I wouldn't want to fly from here to London. No, I'm sure they could have got him a jet.
No.
You know what I mean? But anyway,
for one person though.
It doesn't have to be a big jet. You know what I mean?
He's a big lad.
Yeah, you know. But I'm Bailey Wright, offering him a new contract. Me personally, I think he's definitely going to sign. I think he loves it here. I think he will definitely sign. Right. And I'm glad. Because I love him and I think he's great.
I think as well. Totally agree with everything. Patrick Roberts, I'll quickly start on this one, Stephen, because you love the lad and it might go on a little bit too much about him. But when he first come to Sunderland, he weren't up to scratch. His fitness, you could just tell like he weren't fully fit, and it did take him a while to get started. But I wouldn't say much so under Alex Neil. No, under Alex Neil, he's been coming into the team. He played in different positions, numerous positions. He played as a striker at one point, didn't he?
Yes.
And I was
because you were like, nah, he's never going to do that. And then on Saturday we went to the match, and what did he do?
He played as a striker. Just tapped the piss out of us for weeks after that one, yeah. But no, he's been mint. The way he runs that place, he's not afraid to like cut inside or try and turn the defender inside out. And do you know it's been working? And I was out of the moment he scored against Sheffield Wednesday. You know what? He just kept going, waiting for that ball to come in the box. And you know when you see, as long as there's somebody there, the chances are going to get created. There's someone there that get put away, and he was there. He was the man there. So for me, I'd 100% sign him.
We're in talks with him to offer him a new deal. We did have, obviously, we signed him initially 6-month deal at the end of the season. There were certain stipulations to be met, and they would have automatically renewed him for another year. Those stipulations haven't been met, so we're in talks with him basically. From what I've seen him say in his interviews, what he said, like when he's playing, he's loving life here at the minute. You can see the way he's playing, and he loves playing with Alex Neil. He says Alex Neil stuck with him. He's brought him on, and then he started the last 4 or 5 games of the season, and he's made an impact in every single game. We're going to offer him a new deal. I just hope it's the right deal, because I do believe that, I mean, he's a player that a lot of teams, especially championship teams, know about. Although he's been out the game, if you will, for a while, like, because he hasn't really been playing, he hasn't been doing much. Since he's come to us, he's kind of like raised interest again off other players, other teams. Sorry, so I hope we offer him the right deal, and I hope he stays, because, like he says, I think he's class. What he can bring to the team, how confident he is, the way he moves with the ball.
That's it.
And it's as if he's a step above. It's like Pritchard. They can, like, if you look at like Stewart's goal at Wembley, it was Roberts and Pritchard who were just passing back and forth to each other on the sideline, and then they just kind of knew. He passed it out to Pritchard. Pritchard played with it, sucked the defender in, played it to Roberts. He then ran round the back, and Roberts immediately knew to play through the gap when no one was on Pritchard, and then he drove forward a bit, played it to Stewart, bump goal 2-0. We're gone.
It was a good way we were playing. Yeah. Like I say, you had Pritchard and you had him like free rolling, and then you had the 2 wingers, but they weren't right out wide. They were like just darting runs, and the defence just couldn't cope. And there was a load of space in behind because of that. But regardless, for me, we're 100%. We've got to try and keep him. We've
got to do what we can to keep him. We've got to offer him the right deal. Did they try and be cheap bastards? Because there's no fair play shit now. Now we're not in League One.
Nah.
You couldn't. You're not allowed to offer them too much. You're not allowed to offer them this. In the Championship, you can spend a lot more money than what you could in League One. So let's get the job done. Let's get him signed down, and let's get him keep him in red and white next season.
Well, we're going to be digging numerous videos regarding people who we would like to see to come to the club. But the one thing I think which KLD should try and do is to try and buy out Donald and the rest of them. For me, I don't know, with us going up, they said they wanted 11 million or 11.8 or whatever it was. They said they wanted that, but will that now gone up because we're in the Championship? I think now with that I think we're just to move forward and progress as a club. I know we're digging our right and we'll go in the Championship after all this time, but for me, I think he needs to buy them out. What are you writing about them?
In an ideal world, yes, we need to get them out of the club. But I've said this all season, and I'm not going to get myself involved in all that shit because I'll be honest with you, I don't understand it all. I'm sure, yes, the pair of them need to piss off and get away from our club, and hopefully they will now because they just wanted to make a quick buck. You know what I mean? They got the club for nought. Then they spent the money that we got on parachute payments anyway, and then so technically having us hasn't cost them nought. And now we've went up, the club's worth more. So get your little payday and piss off. You know what I mean?
Simple back to Oxford.
Or friggin' Eastleigh, I couldn't give a shit. Meth and go back to the friggin' purple pants store. I couldn't give a shit.
But do you know what? Actually, I tell a lie. That's not the first thing I think KLD should do. It's to offer Alex Neil a big contract. Like,
well, I was going to mention this earlier because I'm guessing you haven't seen it.
No, what?
Speakman did like it wasn't like an announcement, but somebody spoke to him or whatever. Right. And basically the crack is he's in a 12-month rolling contract, Alex Neil.
Oh, right. No, I never seen this.
He's in a 12-month rolling contract. That's what he's in. And apparently all parties are currently happy with that. So nothing's going to change in the immediate future.
All right.
So there's not going to be no breakdown talks at the minute with Neil trying to get him to sign a long-term deal. Apparently the club and Alex Neil are happy with the 12-month rolling contract because he's still under contract. Still ours. So when it comes to the end, we'll just add it on more. We can extend it. You know what I mean?
You're going to have to tag us in that sort and have a look at it and see it.
Well, I'll have to try and find it. But so we're gonna, like I say, that's the way things are standing at the minute. So it's a 12-month rolling contract. So the Neil thing's sorted at the minute, so to speak. So it's just basically a concentration on players now. First of all, before the window opens, getting Wright, Gooch and Roberts signed new contracts.
100%.
And then we can start going into the market and seeing what else we can find.
So the retain list overall, like I said, there was only 3 or 4 surprises in there for me. One big in Will Grigg, we loved him, we didn't want him
No, I'm devastated.
Should have got a 5-year contract.
When my Ben comes home from school, I tell him he's going to be devastated. I'll have to take I'll have to take my posters off my bedroom wall. My wife will be out of the moonlight, but you know what I mean. I just like lie in bed. I've got him on my ceiling, so I just lie in bed and just stare at Will Grigg.
But no, like I said, it was like Dice, Armand,
Harris,
Stephen Verne, and Harris.
And for me,
I was surprised.
Willis, he's not too bothered.
I wasn't bothered about Willis. He's too injury prone.
He's not injury prone. He had one serious injury.
No, he had two.
No, injury prone means you get injured all the time.
Well,
it was the same injury. No, he just took a setback.
He got injured twice, man.
No, it's the same injury. He just got a setback in the recovery of that injury.
Well, then, is it worth the risk?
For me,
fuck off.
For me, because before that he was our best. He was our best defender.
No, we'll give him a new contract and right then 3 or 4 games into the new season he's out for another year. Then what?
But that's called the risk.
That's why I wouldn't risk.
Yeah, but what if he's not? What if we've released him now? He's on a free. He goes to another championship club, right? We play against him next season. We can't get past him because he's a unit. Because he's fast, he's strong, and he's good on the ball.
He was fast, he was strong. He's been out too long, man.
But who's to say he's not making a full recovery?
He didn't last time.
We haven't kept him, it's irrelevant. We've released him. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, opinions are like arseholes, Paul, everyone's got one. Right?
Yours is bigger than mine.
I'm just... you should see what's went in. I mean, come out of it. But no, I'm just saying, in my opinion... I would have had to give him at least another year. But we haven't, so it's irrelevant.
We'll just jump on the chat for a couple of minutes before we say something we regret.
I didn't even know where
I'll do it's popped back along the song.
I'm going to have to figure out this computer stuff soon, one day. Like
It's pretty easy, you know. You just go on YouTube and learn. I can't do it.
So now I'm going to learn how to use YouTube.
Hey, what one? Obviously, when I've do you know when on the setting to knock that down, it's took a while. It's messed about with this, so I might have to change it back. Like when it decides to load on, we're going to talk on the chat. There you are. Wait, where we're going to about there. Hey, we're just going to have a quick chat and then we're off. We're off, everyone.
So Dean SAFC's put his signing Jacko a mistake. Me and Paul both said no, we don't think it is, but also it was kind of out of our hands. When we did the loan deal with Union Berlin, if we got promoted, he was signing for us. We got promoted, happy days, and he signed for us. So it's not a mistake. It's not something that we could have said no to. It was already agreed. But like me and Paul both said, we're happy that we have signed him because we both like what he's got. He's still a young lad, and we like the way he goes things, and we think that he's
got potential.
He can only improve, especially under Alex Nail's guidance. Yeah, you're asking about which players would like to come in. We're not going to get too much into that now because we're going to have videos coming up in future weeks or days or whatever discussing like who we're linked with or who would like to see come in and all that. But the minute it seems to be the same 3 names linked of like that everyone keeps on saying, and that's Deion Sanderson again, Scott Twine, and
let that one up.
No, Brad Brereton or something from. I think he's from Blackburn. I don't know too much about him. Scott Twine, yes, he was brilliant last season for MK Dons. Would I like to see him? Yes, possibly, but let's say he's one of them players that he did well in League One. Will Grigg did well in League One, and then he went to the Championship, did an out, then he came back to League One and did an out again. So I think before, we've played against some of these League One teams that yes, they do have players that have been like, oh bloody hell, you've scored loads here, you've scored loads there, oh he played really well. But we need Championship established players, not people who've done it in League One. Now I know you've got to start somewhere and you've got to progress up that ladder.
Aye.
But I think we need to be looking at more Premiership quality, Championship standard players, especially for next season, so then we can progress and have a successful season next year. The green screen's gone all over.
Dog man.
Little Sassy's just come down to trash the place. Who else is on here? CEO Roberts is a big game player. That's fine by me. It would be a big. He had to get picked up. Right, got picked up from Cock and Lodge Golf Course, apparently. Roberts is class. Solar's correct. Oh, I've just done that one. KLD has his money in commodities. But last time, his first season when he bought us halfway through the season, he said if we got promoted, we had a £60 million transfer budget.
Exactly.
So I don't see why that would change for this season. And nothing's been said yet.
And what you call he was in as well. Sorry, Stephen.
His brother.
What they call Stuart Donald and Co was still at the club at that time, and he still said that there was a £60 million. So You know, I can't see why it wouldn't be made available at this. But now we are the Championship club. That sounds nice, doesn't it? We are a Championship club finally after all this time.
You know.
What time's it here? I've got plenty of time. A couple of more, and we'll show.
That's a good point. Someone said no mention of it. But KLD's mother was at Wembley on Saturday and she was celebrating like mad.
Oh no, I never seen that. I never seen that.
KLD's worth 2.9 billion by himself. His brother was sitting beside him at Wembley. He's worth, I'm guessing, the same. And then his mother was behind them and she's worth 9 billion. So all KLD's got to do is say, look, Mum, can you up me pocket money a bit, and then we can bring in who we want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, in fact, talking about who we're going to bring in.
Yeah.
I read yesterday that PSG are willing to let Neymar go. So, you know, if he wants to play on the big stage, there's no bigger stage in the stadium, right?
He's not good enough to play for us.
Right, well, no, he'd be a decent squad player.
Yeah, I forgot to tell everybody, can you hit the thumbs up on this live? I forgot to mention at the beginning. So I smash the thumbs up on this one.
And if you're watching us and you're thinking these two are daft as a brush, this is only half of it.
Yes,
It's subscribe and then get notifications, and then you can watch all of our daft videos. And if you want to have a good laugh, watch some of our, especially our match day vlogs.
No, I tell you what, go and watch, if you're not bothered about swearing and that, go and watch a Chef Wed live. Watch it through. Oh my God, it's hilarious. Especially our schools. They want more, Stephen, and then I've got a shout for the band.
Well, Mike Pickard just said, loving the channel, gents, and we'll be watching over the season break.
Nice.
Thank you very much. We'll try and keep the content as good as we can, and we'll be there plenty of times talking about it. Because as you know, every summer and every January, Sunderland get linked with every man of the dog. So we'll be on every week at least.
Definitely.
And we'll be doing a few of the daft videos and things like that. And we'll even do a couple of things that are out of our comfort zone just for shits and giggles.
No.
I was just want to mention that.
No. Yeah, there you gone. You spoilt yourself, didn't you? He lost the competition. I got the correct score for Wembley, 2-0, and there'll be loads who did as well. I'll mention these in the next video what we do. He got it wrong. So if you want, on this video, this stream, when it's finished, scan onto the comments and leave a comment for a forfeit for him. And the one with the most likes, that's what he's got to do.
Right, I didn't say that.
I've said it now.
They'll say a freaking streak through Newcastle or something. You can piss off. I'm not there now like that.
Yeah, well, it depends what they say. It's up to them.
Right, we'll see. I'll quit.
Right, hit the thumbs up on this video.
Subscribe if you're new.
And we'll see you in the next
video. See you later, everybody.
I'm off.